Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Thrive12. My name is Nicole Wright, and I am here today to share some more information with you about how to manage your diabetes, to share some tips and tricks and strategies to help you along your journey. I'm sure that at this point you have gained a lot of helpful information and from my colleagues, from Tiffany and the other presenters who have spoken with you and shared information. And I hope that you will gain additional helpful information strategies with this presentation. I'm sorry that I'm not able to be with you in person today. My daughter is starting college, and so I am out of state supporting her in this transition in her life. But I will share all of my information so that you can contact me if you need any help. You can reach out to me, and I'll be happy to continue to support you along the way. So the topics that I'll be discussing today are three different topics. The first is building a support system. The second topic is using applications to support self-management. And the third topic is self-advocacy. All right. So just a little bit about me. As I said, I am a registered nurse. I'm a certified health coach and case manager. I'm also a travel wellness expert and author of The Science of Happiness and the Zen RN's Healthy Expat and Digital Nomad Playbook. I am the founder of the Zen RN. My background is in emergency nursing, home care, case management, medical review, and as I mentioned, I have 10 years of experience supporting women in managing chronic health conditions. So today we're going to explore why support systems are the foundation of thriving with diabetes, how technology can be a partner, not a burden, in self-management, ways to advocate for your needs inside the healthcare system, and local and virtual resources you can connect with right now. So let's all just take a deep breath. Know that this is your time and time to invest in yourself. And by the end of this session, I hope you'll feel not just informed, but also empowered and supported. So why does support matter and why do support systems matter? Well, managing diabetes alone can be very heavy. It can feel very heavy. And there are daily decisions about food, medications, exercise, sleep. It can also feel very overwhelming. And face it, we all need support. But here's the truth. You were never meant to do this alone. So let's talk about family support. What can your family do for you? Well, family members can help with grocery shopping. They can help with cooking or joining you for exercise, for walks. Sometimes support means just a gentle reminder, right? Did you check your blood sugar today? Or did you take your medication? But other times it's simply listening when you need to vent. And a family that eats balanced meals together makes it easier for you to stay consistent without feeling singled out. So the habits that your family has directly affect your habits and, the way that you are easier or have more of a difficult time managing your diabetes. In addition to that, there are community support systems. So communities like this one, Thrive12, exist so that you can connect with women who understand your experience. There's power in peer encouragement. So someone else's success, like learning to swap out sugary drinks for something more healthy, that can inspire your own progress. And this is evidence-based, right? Research has shown that people with strong support systems have lower levels of diabetes-related distress. They will stick to their medication plans more consistently. They have improved A1Cs and just generally have overall improved well-being. So I have an example. I once worked with a woman who felt isolated. She didn't want to, quote unquote, burden her family with her diabetes. But when she finally told her sister, she discovered her sister wanted to join her in healthy eating. So they started cooking together once a week, and not only did my client's blood sugars improve, but her and her sister's relationship deepened because there's magic in support. It's not just physical health, it's also emotional help too. So I want to challenge you with a reflection here. I want you to take a moment, think of one person. It could be a family member, a friend, or a community member that you've connected with who really encourages you. Maybe it's even someone who makes you laugh when you're stressed or someone who shares recipes with you. I want you to write their name down and know that that person is part of your support system. And that person can be very significant in your journey. So we've talked about the human aspect of it, of support, friends, family, community members, but let's also now talk about technology as your partner. And you may have never thought of technology as, being a partner to you in the management of your health condition, but when used wisely, it can become your personal coach or accountability partner and even your cheerleader. And I know sometimes technology feels intimidating or, feels can cause stress if it's not working properly. But when used right, it can really be a significant support system. So what kind of apps are available to you as technology for diabetes management? Well, we have glucose monitoring apps. We have medication reminder apps. There are wellness tracking apps, and there are apps that provide feedback, trends, and motivation for you. Okay, so let's take a look at a few of those. Let's talk about glucose monitoring apps. So glucose monitoring apps work for you because they connect to your glucose monitor. So instead of just looking at one number, you can see patterns like how certain meals affect you. These apps often let you share details and data with your healthcare provider so your doctor can see what's happening between visits. So the name of an app that is a glucose monitoring app would be the app My Sugar. This is an app that's available in both iOS and Android. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, it's available for both. The key features in this app is that it helps log blood sugar. It gives you A1C estimates. It can count your carbohydrate intake. It can keep track of your medications and insulin, and it syncs with glucose meters like Accucheck. This particular app is best for daily diabetes management, and it has easy logging and motivational features. And you can learn more about My Sugar at this website, mysugar.com. Another glucose monitoring app would be the Glucose Buddy app, and that is available on iOS and Android as well. And some of the key features in the Glucose Buddy app are that it tracks glucose, insulin, A1C, food, exercise, and medications. It offers you charts, reminders, and reports. Now, this app is best for comprehensive tracking, and according to those who use it, it has a really clean, user-friendly interface. So, meaning that it is easy to use, easy to go between features and to select features. So you can learn more about this app at www.glucosebuddy.com. A third glucose monitoring app would be Diabetes M. This app is available as well on iOS and Android. Some of the key features on this app are that it tracks blood glucose, A1C, insulin, and nutrition, and it includes insulin bolus calculator and data export options. So this particular app is more for advanced users who are looking for detailed analytics and also doctor reports. This app's information is available at www.managing-diabetes.net. Another app available is Dario Health, and that is available on iOS and Android. The key features in this app is that it really is an all-in-one smart glucose meter plus app for real-time tracking of blood glucose, A1C trends, food, as well as mood. So that's very interesting. This app, they say, is best for users looking for seamless hardware and software integration. And the information for this app is available at www.dariohealth.com. Some other apps that could be useful are the Dexcom Clarity app, that is glucose monitoring, Libre Link, that is glucose monitoring. MediSafe is actually an app that helps provide medication reminders. MyFitnessPal is a general wellness tracking app. And Fitbit, I'm sure some of you have heard of the Fitbit monitor that you wear. That is also a wellness tracking device and app. Now, just a little more information. In general, medication reminder apps are, really game changers for women juggling work and kids and just life in general. They send friendly reminders, they track missed doses, which is amazing, and they even alert you when it's time for a refill. The wellness tracking apps, such as the MyFitnessPal or Fitbit, again, they track meals, exercise, sleep, and stress. And, seeing how sleep or lack of it affects your blood sugars can really motivate you to prioritize your rest. Okay, so those are additional benefits. And in general, the benefits of tech is that, they give you real-time feedback to keep you engaged in your management of your diabetes. They give you progress charts to show how far you've come, even on difficult days. They share data, which reduces your white coat syndrome, right? So instead of only relying on numbers at the doctor's office, you have a fuller picture of your trends in your health. Some of the barriers for apps is that, too many apps can feel overwhelming. Some women may worry about privacy or the cost of the app. And, technology in generally does not replace people. It really should work with you and with your support system. So the challenge here is for you to review some of the apps that I mentioned today and even do your own research to see if you find others that you feel comfortable or that you might want to work with, and select one app or tool this week that you will explore. Okay, and again, explore the benefits of it. Read the I always like to read reviews of apps before I download them as well, because it gives you more information about the users, the ease of use, the effectiveness of the app. So it's nice to hear not just from, the people who produce the apps or create them, but from the people who are actually using them. And one tip before we move on to the next topic is that even if it's something simple like setting a phone alarm for your medication, that's technology working for you. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to advocacy in the healthcare system. Um, what is advocacy? And you can take a moment and answer that in the chat if you like. We'll wait a few seconds here. All right, so if you said that advocacy is speaking up for yourself, then you were exactly right. And we're talking about advocacy in healthcare. So we would be talking about speaking up for yourself in the healthcare system. So as women, and especially as women from our communities, it is, it's not uncommon to feel dismissed or rushed in appointments, like your voice is not being heard. But it's important to know and realize that your voice is very powerful. Okay, so you want to, before you see your provider, before you go to a new doctor, if you go to the hospital, before you connect with a healthcare provider, you want to prepare questions in advance. Many of us, when we get to the doctor, and it's happened to me as well, I will forget the things that I know I wanted to ask. We have that white coat syndrome where we get in there and then, things just escape us. So it's important to keep a book or keep something on your phone. Make a note of the questions that you want to ask your provider so that you have that information and, it's supporting you during your visit. Know your numbers. So know your daily numbers when you check your blood glucose. Know what your trends are. Review with your doctor how often you should be checking your blood glucose, and then stick to that plan. And if there's something that you don't understand, you have to ask for clarity. You have the right to have something explained to you until you understand that, whether it's medication, whether it's side effects, whether it's treatment, whatever that is, you are the master of your own health. And so it's important for you to be able to have mastery over your health. You need to have information and you need to have answers that are clear to you. And speak up. All right, when things are not working, if a medication is not working for you, if it's making you sick, if you're having, symptoms that are uncomfortable, speak with your doctor to see, what can be done, maybe to make adjustments or to try another medication or to adapt your management of your diabetes around your lifestyle. Okay. Um, So advocacy skills, here are a few things. Prepare questions, write down 2 to 3 concerns before each appointment. Again, know your numbers, ask for clarity, speak up. And sometimes our cultural norms teach us to be polite or to not question authority, but in healthcare, asking questions isn't disrespect, it's self-advocacy. So here's an example of a role play. You as the patient would say, doctor, I'm concerned about side effects. Are there alternatives? And your provider should be saying to you, yes, let's review those options together. Or you may be saying, you may be meeting with Tiffany and saying, Tiffany, I noticed my blood sugar spike after dinner, even when I follow the plan. What adjustments can we make? And Tiffany would say to you, well, let's review your meal plan and see what changes might help. So you want to make sure that you have a game plan, that you have a care plan, and that you have a strategy in place. And for example, I have a woman that I worked with who used to feel too nervous to question her doctor. But when she started bringing a notebook with her with questions written down, she noticed that the provider took her concerns more seriously. And after that, her care improved, and so did her confidence. So you want to think of one question you want to ask your healthcare provider at your next appointment, write it down, and that's the first step in advocacy. All right, so let's move on to our last topic, And that is going to be about connecting to local and virtual resources. Now, support systems don't just come from family or apps, they also come from the resources around you. Some local resources that could be helpful to you could be community health centers, which often provide free or low cost diabetes education. The YMCA has a diabetes prevention program, which combines exercise, nutrition, and group support. And often our churches and cultural organizations host wellness groups. So you should look into that as well. Now, virtually, online, a program like this, Thrive12, is a support group, a very important resource, for you to share with providers, share with your peers, and gain helpful information and strategies. The American Diabetes Association has online forums and educational tools that are helpful. And there are also peer groups. If you're on Facebook, there are Facebook groups. There are WhatsApp support groups that let you connect instantly with others who understand your struggles. So really, the best strategy is blending all of it, right? Blending local support, community programs, community support groups, along with virtual assistance. Imagine joining your Thrive12 sisters on Zoom for accountability and then planning a walk, with a new friend that you've gained or a local friend twice a week. That's what we would call balancing to keep you feeling supported at all times and on all sides. So take the time to write down one local resource that you could look into and one virtual group that you could try. Setting that intention makes it more likely that you will take action. So here's your resource reflection. We're going to write down one local resource that you could look into and one virtual group you could try. And know that setting that intention makes it more likely that you'll take action. So please take advantage of this moment where you're focused and write those resources down. Because again, you will be more likely to follow up and make that outreach. And here we are. We've come to the end of this presentation. Let's go ahead and review what we've learned today. You're going to build your circle, family, friends, peers, anyone who is supportive of you, members of your community, of your spiritual community, your church, community health center, anyone who is there to be a cheerleader for you and support you in your journey. You're going to use technology as your ally. We've talked about a few apps that you can start using today, download today, to help manage your journey. And you're going to speak up in healthcare. Your voice matters, and your voice is important and it's powerful. You are the CEO of your own health journey, so you want to make sure that you are using your voice to advocate for yourself. And you're going to connect to resources both near and far, locally within your community and virtually online. And I want to thank you for spending this time with us today and for letting me present this information for you today. I want you to remember this: your health is your passport to freedom. So with the right support systems, tools, and advocacy, you don't just survive, you thrive. And so your action step is to choose one thing from today's session, maybe downloading an app, asking a question at your next doctor's visit, or reaching out to a local or virtual resource. Write it down and commit to it this week. Thank you again for allowing me to be part of your Thrive12 journey. I'm proud of each and every one of you for showing up for yourselves today. Stay strong, stay supported. Bye-bye.